Hey, this is Hardline, Destructoid's video game news podcast, not Battlefield Hardline. We started this. Well, I was going to say we started this before EA announced Battlefield Hardline, but we probably did not because video games take a long time to make. But we've been doing this for like 20 weeks, 20 plus weeks. Just going to talk about the news. I'm here with Steven Hansen,
Buongiorno, amici.
Hamza Aziz,
What's up?
and Brett Makedonski.
I don't know any other languages.
Good.
Oh, was that what we were doing?
That's the way we like it, Brett. This is America.
Check out this American podcast on the internet for the entire world.
Yes.
Hardline.
So we might as well just start with Battlefield Hardline. So that got leaked, as things seem to just be leaked. I mean, everything seems to be leaking these days. Kind of, I guess it's been like that for a few years now. But
It's a drippy faucet.
I want to know who's leaking these things, though. It's because literally trailers. I mean, we had Call of Duty leak. Now this, like, a literal trailer is leaking.
It's all the same guy. He just goes from company to company.
He
and
works
gets
for
a
every
job.
company. Yeah.
And they're like, there was a leak during your 2-month tenure at Activision. Do you know anything about that? No. Okay. Well, you're hired. He has impeccable qualifications.
He's just filed his 2 weeks now that the trailer's out at EA. Yeah. Oh man.
I think it's probably all those press sneak fucks out there.
Who said that originally?
Was that Arcane?
Arcane.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with the Hardline leak, it was EA's fault, or whoever's uploading assets to Battlelog, and some dude
yes.
just went through the code, or I don't know exactly the specifics, but he just found it on EA stuff, and it was like, oh, look at all this shit EA's uploading. I wonder what this is.
Yeah, so it was a
like
bunch
that.
of images on their servers of ribbons and vehicle icons and all these other things, and it's like little
How cute.
ribbons. And the game actually looks kind of cool to me. So it's basically cops versus robbers is the shorthand of what it is.
So it's basically Payday.
It's like Payday meshed with Battlefield because you're still in vehicles and big levels and that sort of stuff.
So it's Payday that doesn't work, huh? Heyo.
It damn well better work. Yeah. I'm sad about Battlefield 4. Apparently, it's gotten better, but
No one cares anymore.
Yeah.
They burned that bridge to come out on all the consoles and whatever. You look at companies who push back a launch day bundle to come out in May, and it's Ubisoft with Watch Dogs is now garnering positive response. Surprisingly, I'm still not.
Has it? I haven't been looking at reviews too much.
I mean, Destructoid's Chris Carter gave it an 8 out of 10.
So there you go. End of conversation, right? Well, yeah, and Drive Club got delayed because that was apparently shitty in its earlier stages.
And now it's good, according to Dale.
Yeah, so there you go.
Who knows racing games as much as anybody.
And yesterday, The Order got delayed, and Evil Within got delayed as well.
So we basically already hit every single news topic we were going to talk about. Referenced it anyway.
It's a short week leading up to E3. What do you expect?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we'll just kind of go with this and see where it takes us. I mean, anything else to say about Battlefield before we move on? I mean, are you guys at all interested in this? I am, but it doesn't sound like you're super into it.
I have a buddy who really likes Battlefield and who really likes, just online shooter games, and we played Payday and that was fun, so I'm sure he'll be really into it and try to get me to buy Battlefield, but I've still not installed Origin, and I'm not going to.
Origin, I don't blame you. At the same time, it's not the worst thing ever. It's not good. It's like an extra thing you have to have in your system, so I sympathize with you there, but it's not terrible.
I skipped Battlefield 4, so I think I'm ready to get back into the Battlefield franchise with Hardline. Like, I really enjoyed 3. I wanted to get into 4 because of all the Levolution, all that other buzzword bullshit, but I don't know. I just never got around to getting the game, and I'm kind of glad I didn't because of all the issues the game has had since up till now, really. And with the fact that Visceral is making Hardline, at least a single player. I don't know if they're making the entire thing or if they're working with multiple studios. Kind of like how Activision or Ubisoft does it now. But yeah, I don't know. Ready to get back into
but
Battlefield.
Visceral also made Dead Space 2 and 3.
Yeah, the idea that Visceral is doing this instead of DICE is kind of what has me optimistic, because I feel like they might present a fresh take on Battlefield instead of just
they made Dead Space 2 and 3
and Dante's Inferno.
and Dante's Inferno.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that game.
Now I'm even less interested after I remember that Dante's Inferno exists. But
now
I
On
don't
the
know
record,
if
Dead
about
Space
that
2 was
again.
pretty awesome. I don't know what
I
you're
liked 2.
shitting on that for.
I liked it in a different way than I liked the first, but
Yeah,
I still
exactly.
liked it. 3, however, fuck that.
3 got really good for the last act of it. Like,
See,
it
I
was-
didn't get to. I made it maybe a third of the way.
I
in,
pressed my
was
way
like,
all the
I
way
can't.
through that game, and like the last act reminded me of the original 2 Dead Space, whereas the lead up to everything to that was then trying to create,
Co-op Bionicle Monster bullshit.
yeah, it's just like
Microtransactions.
like a Gears of War kind of thing, where like it's more cover based shooter than survival or cool action like Dead Space 2 was. But I don't know. It's been a while since they've done anything. I mean, the Dead Space franchise kind of just fell apart after 3 because of all the bullshit they did to it. So we'll see if Hardline
Well,
is good.
Visceral is also doing the next Battlefront, right? Is that Visceral?
Yeah, I don't think it's Visceral Redwood
No.
Shores Visceral. It's a different studio called
Okay.
Visceral as well. LA Visceral? I don't know. They've been renaming studios left and right really recently. Because they have like LA DICE as well, I think.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Well, there's the DICE Star Wars game, which wouldn't that be the Battlefront?
That's
And
what
then
I was
there's
thinking of.
the
Yeah, sorry.
Visceral,
That's what I'm
and
thinking of.
there's
Is
the Visceral
DICE.
Star Wars game that
Yes,
Amy
that's-
Hennig is working on.
Yes,
former
that's I
Uncharted
conflated all
person.
this. You
And
have
there's
it
a third Star Wars game that I forget always.
I feel like there's, quite a few Star Wars games that EA has lined up. And some of those we don't know about, but they just canceled that free-to-play one that everyone was not. It's like, thanks,
What
I
about
guess.
that one where you can dance as Han Solo? I want a sequel to that one.
You mean the one where they stole code or whatever from Harmonix?
Yeah.
Star Wars Connect.
Yeah.
I have not played that, and I don't ever intend to play that. But the GIFs are funny. As someone who isn't a diehard Star Wars fan, the GIFs are funny of like Darth Vader and the Emperor dancing for no fucking reason.
It's great. I love it. It's like Persona 4 dancing all night. I'm so excited to play
ooh.
that game.
So, Watch Dogs, are any of us going to play that? I'm not.
No.
Steven's
They're sending me a
not.
copy, so I will.
You should at least check it out.
Oh,
So
let me
I have
borrow
some-
it, and then I'll not like it and then give it back to you.
Okay, cool. After I beat it.
I would be surprised if you actually managed to beat it, Hamza. Make it
We'll see.
through. Because
We'll see
isn't
if
it? I thought it was
Huh?
kind of a long game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not playing anything right now. I beat Transistor, and there's really nothing else.
Mario
Well,
Kart's
check-
coming out Friday.
Eh. Okay. I like Mario Kart. I will play Mario Kart 8. I will not go and buy it, though, because I don't have that much of a desire to play it.
Why do you even have a Wii U, Hamza?
Because I want to
get
play
a
Super
free
Mario
game.
3D World.
You could get a free game with your purchase of Mario Kart 8.
It's true. The weird thing about Mario Kart is it feels like it came out such a long time ago because the review embargo was like a month
I
before the
know.
game came out.
I know. I had that
Yeah.
exact. I was earlier this week. I was double checking when it was actually coming out, and I had that same exact thought. So silly Nintendo. I guess they were confident that it would get good reviews. So
The only Wii U game I really want to go out and buy is Super Smash Bros. Everything else is just, I'll get it when I get it kind of thing. Like, I'm not, like, I know I'll have fun with Mario Kart 8, with the whole legacy behind that series I've always loved. But there's just nothing about it that's like, oh my God, I have to get this right now. There's nothing like that right now.
Maybe if you had friends to play with, Hamza.
Yeah, that's true. You want to come over?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
As long as you have to go buy it, though, because I'm not buying it.
I do feel the same way because I just beat 3D World. Well, I have 2 levels left. Those fucking last 2 levels, I can't do them.
Wait,
But-
in space?
Yes.
Okay.
The one with like 30 stars you have to beat in a row, 30 rooms you have to beat in a row, and then the Challengers Road or whatever it's called. Annoying.
When did you get a Wii U, Jordan?
Less than a month ago.
For what?
Yeah.
Why'd you get it?
For the third Mario.
Oh, okay.
So, well, and Mario and Pikmin and Smash Bros. Basically, like if I get no other games besides those, I'll be okay with the purchase. Basically.
Well, you can get Mario Kart and get Pikmin for free.
Well, exactly. I am gonna do that. So.
Have you been rocking any of the Virtual Console stuff?
Mostly Advance Wars. I bought a bunch of Super Nintendo games that I've beaten, 20 times and haven't played them. So I don't know why I bought them again. It's like I booted them up and it's like it works. Okay, I remember playing this.
Because you're bad with money.
Yep. So like Mega Man X, Kirby, Superstar, all that stuff I bought. But Advance Wars is awesome.
I was really close to buying a 3DS a couple of weeks ago, and I just looked at the content library. I'm like, I don't really want anything for the 3DS right now. There's a lot of great stuff. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of that great stuff just doesn't appeal to me.
You don't have a 3DS in that house?
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say like I looked at the 3DS library and there was too much stuff and I didn't want to deal with it.
No, a lot of it's
like
so
many good 3DS
Yeah, there
games.
is like Fire Emblem and all that stuff, but none of it jumps out at me because I'm not a JRPG player.
Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
That game, I'm with Steven. I kind of had your reaction, Hamza, and then I played it, and it's quite good and funny.
The only one I really want right now is Kirby, the new Kirby game. But like, I know how short Kirby games can be, so it just didn't really justify a purchase of a 3DS.
To be fair, I think I only own like 4 3DS games.
Yeah.
But I got a lot out of all of them. Fire Emblem, Luigi's Mansion, Animal Crossing, and Pokemon, which I didn't finish.
What about Tomodachi Life? I kind of want that.
Looks cool.
It's cool.
A lot of people have opinions on that game.
Cool. I'm gonna make Steven and Brett and Hamza in Tomodachi Life and.
Oh, please do.
See, I'm so sad that you guys can't hook up with each other in the game though, because that would be humorous to me.
Yeah, that would be a good video or a good article or something.
I mean, that's always been the appeal for. I haven't played any of the Sims but the first one, but with the first Sims, that was kind of the appeal of just what wacky scenarios will ensue that wouldn't happen in real life.
It's like making your friends an XCOM and then seeing them brutally die on the battlefield.
Yep. I did that too, or Oregon Trail, or any of these games where you can name your characters. I need more of those games. It's fun.
Yeah.
Sims 4. You can do that with Sims 4, right?
Yeah. Brett, you saw 2 games that
I saw a lot more than 2 games.
You saw 2 games recently that you can talk about.
Yeah.
That are worth talking about. So let's start with The Evil Within.
Ooh, okay.
Is pure survival horror. So you use that in your headline. Was that a direct quote of theirs that they've been saying that it is that?
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember where I saw it, but I'm pretty sure that they're saying that they're trying to get back to the roots of pure survival horror with The Evil Within. I was given about a 2-hour-long demo, which is kind of unheard of. Demos don't usually last that long to play The Evil Within, and I did not like it at all. After my preview went live, I kind of skimmed the internet and just saw what other people thought of it, and it was super divided. Like, Kotaku had a really positive preview of it. The Escapist had a really negative preview of it. It was just kind of like that over and over. But no, I didn't really dig The Evil Within.
So I'm curious, before we get into shitting all over it, what did people say they liked about it, and what did they find positive about it? If you remember,
people thought it was scary, and
really?
I was just complete opposite end of the spectrum. I thought it was garbage for the most part. Maybe having the benefit of context throughout the entire game will make certain things more scary, but I don't know. Hopefully, I guess. Hopefully.
More like the evil without scares.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think you're onto something to some extent with that, Brett. Because if I imagine myself playing that preview build, uh, compared to playing at home, where it's like, this is my guide, this is my progress, I want to see the end. You're gonna walk away from the preview event. You can't beat the game there, so it's less. I don't know. Then again, lower stakes. But you were talking about losing progress, which sounded really frustrating, even in the preview.
Hopefully, that's something that they can fix. The checkpoint system was really broken. You would have to do pretty key things to get a checkpoint, and there would be 15, 20, 25 minutes between those key events. Maybe it was only that long because we didn't really know how to play the game. We were learning on the fly, but it was not uncommon at all for me to hear coming out of there that people died at certain parts that were usually kind of unfair. Like you'd walk around a corner and a bomb would go off, and they'd be
evil,
and they'd be put back 30 minutes.
Maybe the game is teaching you to not so casually walk around corners, Brett.
There's a section in chapter 8 where all of a sudden you're kind of like forced to walk into a trap, and it starts a giant wall opens, and there's 2 spinning blades, and it starts pulling you towards it really quickly, and there's a tiny button above the blade that's like barely glowing. You can barely see it, and if you died there, I heard someone lost like 20 minutes of progress because they couldn't, they didn't see the button to get up to in like 3 seconds. It was
so I heard some people go against what you were saying here, and they were like, you don't like hard games, Brett, but that's not what this is. That's not what it sounds like to me. I mean, think back to, say, Resident Evil 4, a survival horror action game we love, you would go into those like the quick time event sequences where you could die in one hit. You'd get a checkpoint at the beginning of that sequence. I mean, I don't know. That just sounds not fun.
That was one of my favorite responses in the comments, was that I'm just bad at games and I don't like hard games. It's like, I've played a ton of. I've 100% Super Meat Boy. Like I've gotten
I haven't done that.
I've gotten full gamer score in the original Trials HD, which is...
You're so cool, Brett. Wow. Oh my God.
What I'm trying to say is
clothes off right now.
I'm a really cool guy with lots of gamer cred. But no, like I've played lots of hard games, and hard games are cool, but unfair hard games are terrible.
There's a distinction to be made.
Yes. I mean, I don't want to shit all over it too bad because it's just a preview. But I didn't really see a whole lot to be optimistic about either.
So was it was more than was it more action-y than horror in your opinion, or was it just not scary horror?
Yeah, the horror just didn't do it for me. Sometimes I wonder if I'm kind of desensitized to a lot of that stuff.
Let's test it out at E3 since we're rooming together. I'm gonna wake up during the middle of the night at random hours and try to scare you. We'll see what happens.
I can get you a chainsaw.
Ooh,
that'd be scary.
Cool.
You gonna carry a chainsaw onto a plane?
No,
I know someone in LA who has a chainsaw. Brett,
we have connections, Brett.
God.
Brett 4.
Sorry. But yeah. The evil without scares.
When did it get delayed to? Do you remember?
October, Halloween.
Okay.
Right around there. October 21, I think, in North America.
It should have been targeted for October release in general.
Just going to say.
Halloween and everything.
October is a very crowded month as far as games go. So
yeah. Well, I feel like any of those months are getting crowded for games after August, September.
I mean, last October was like Battlefield and Call of Duty. But Call of Duty Ghosts, so that was spooky themed.
I guess as far as the Evil Within's critical reception goes, I think it'll be really highly dependent on who reviews it for any given outlet. If people are fond of, those old school mechanics, and they remember them kindly, it might get reviewed better at certain places. Whereas people that expect a game to hold up to modern standards, they probably won't be so forgiving.
I'm willing to bet money this will be another one of those where it becomes the press versus the gamers, and the gamers love the game, and the press they're terrible and they hate it. Hopefully, it's not that harsh of a divide, but
I'm not even sure about that. I think it'll be evenly divided between. I think press will be divided, and I think gamers will be divided. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, it's going to be a divisive game.
There's going to be so much division going on. It's like your third grade math class.
It's like we got Tom Clancy up in this bitch.
Rest in peace. The other game you saw, which I feel like you liked this a lot more, was The Order 1886, though you got a short preview with this one, right?
Yeah, it was incredibly short. What if anybody watched the Twitch stream that they did? It was pretty much that plus an extra 2 to 3 minutes at the end.
So it was like less than 10 minutes long?
It was like 5 minutes total. Maybe 7 if you took your time during the combat sequences.
Wow.
What I saw was super impressive. The thermite rifle that the game's kind of centered around like technologically different weapons. So the one that we got to see was called the thermite rifle, where you shoot thermite behind enemies or above enemies, and then you shoot a flare into that, which ignites it and rains fire down on the attackers, which is pretty cool. And everything looks super cinematic and super nice, and just it looks like you're playing a movie. Apparently that's why it's running at 30 frames per second, because movies look better when they're running, I think, at 24 frames per second instead of 60 frames per second, which I guess would look silly for a movie. They kind of wanted
it looks weird.
Yeah, they kind of wanted to preserve that I don't know, visual style. A lot of people are complaining about the whole 30 frames per second thing, but I thought it looked gorgeous.
Yeah, I like more frames per second, as I feel like a lot of people would, but it's not. There are cases when if that's intentional to make the game, if they want to make the game look as good as it does, I mean, 30 frames per second is probably all they can hit consistently. So
I don't care about.
Yeah, it's not that big a deal to me personally.
Man.
One of the coolest takeaways from the demo was segueing into cutscenes and then segueing out of cutscenes and realizing that like everything looks the same the entire time. It's just that pretty. So,
how's it feel as a shooter?
It feels fine, serviceable, I guess. The weapons seem a little underpowered, which I think they do to try to get you to use the actual intention of the thermite rifle, instead of just using the iron pellets that it shoots to kill your opponent. You'd have to dump a whole lot of those into them to take them down, but if you light them on fire, that'll do the trick.
Why are you shooting people with a BB gun when you have a fucking Hellstorm flame gun that you could be raining down on them with?
That's not exactly what the developers said, but I think that was their intention.
How's it handled, say, compared to something like Gears of War or Fuse?
Well, I didn't play Fuse. I spent some
the critically acclaimed Fuse. Behold all shooters up against.
That's like the last co-op third-person shooter I played.
Honestly,
so.
Gears is a good comparison, because I feel like Gears is one of the best feeling shooter series out there of the last. I don't know.
I guess the big difference between them is that Gears has that hard cover system where I think you have to hit A on every wall and then you
run into it. Yeah, you run into cover.
There's a button prompt to actually take cover, though, right?
If you're sprinting first,
cover.
It'll lock into it if you sprint into cover, right?
Yes, but if you're like moving positions, you use a button.
Okay, so from what I saw with the Order, you basically just kind of have to get close to a pillar, and it'll kind of bring you into it. It's a soft cover system.
Okay.
It felt fine during the demo, but I think I only got to do it once during the demo. So, and I imagine third-person cover game, you're going to be doing that a lot, more than a couple times. So, yeah.
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 Okay.
That's the Order. I spent way more time describing the order than I actually got to play the order.
Are there vampires or something in this game? I'm remembering now that they remember they teased this and it was like a CG trailer. I swear there was vampires or some monsters in this. Or is that a different game?
No, there's something going on with they called them half-breeds or something, but
okay.
we didn't.
Of course, they didn't say anything about that of substance.
The only thing that we know about is the presence of something called black water, which is like this substance that has mystical properties and will heal you if you drink it, and will like substantially elongate your lifespan. And
I hope that it's actually all just like crypto racist bullshit, and like the half breeds are just like mixed breed people, and you realize that you're just like some Illuminati racist motherfucker like killing people. That'd be cool.
I don't think that Sony is going that way with their first party game, but maybe they are.
What if maybe the black water makes you see people differently? There was that mission in I think Oblivion where you were killing, I don't remember what creature, and it was actually, I think, humans. It's been a while since I played that. That'd be a neat concept. It probably would not go over well. So, yeah, that sounds like, I don't know what else we can say about the order. Isn't that, that also got delayed too, didn't it?
Yeah, that got delayed to early 2015 is what they're saying. Some people are saying February, and I'm not sure where they got that, if they just kind of split the difference a quarter one, but we were told early 2015.
Again, I feel like that should have just been the original date. I was not expecting this to be any earlier than early next year. So
you know how it is at these shows. They want to make sales happen and build up
pre-orders.
This game, awesome new games coming out this year, so you better get your PS4 while you can, because
while supplies last.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting on The Witness, man.
That's all I want. I don't have a PS4, but that game is going to be good, I bet.
I'm going to say that has to be coming out shortly after E3. We have an appointment to see that game at E3, a major appointment. Although at this point, I don't really know what else we could say or want to say about a game like this, where it's kind of better just to go in without knowing as much, knowing everything possible.
Yeah,
puzzle games are hard to preview. Sorry, Steven, what did you say?
Yeah, you don't want to just sit there and learn all the puzzle solutions, and you can't just sit there and write about all the puzzle solutions.
Yeah. But I mean, it's gonna be E3, so at this point, it has to be coming out pretty soon. Like, it's been way too long, and I think what were they saying before? Like, they spent $4 million on this project so far. Blow has
multi-million. A lot of the Braid money got reinvested into this, if not most of the money from that. So I hope it does well for Jonathan Blow.
Yeah. So I think Braid came in at this point where.
It came at exactly the right point.
Yep.
It was one of those games. It was kind of like a breakthrough title.
Yeah, broke new ground, new territory, and now everything is indie. There's so many indies on the PlayStation blog alone. There's like at least a few stories a day focusing on something that's new.
Well, I mean, that's why it's really cool, though, that Jonathan Blow knew the climate that he'd be releasing this into, and he still funneled all of this money into it himself. Like, you can tell it's a passion project. He wants to do it, and he's not necessarily. I'm sure he would like it to sell as much, but the chances of that are less. But he still wanted to make a really cool game, and he had the means to do it, so he did it, and that's cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, Blow especially. He just wants to make cool things and cool experiences. He's not really concerned with the financial aspect of or just being profitable. He just wants to get this out, and people like it. Awesome, And that's the great thing about the indies in general as well. Like, most of the time, they just want to create some cool experiences and get it out there and let people have fun.
They just want to make enough money to keep making more games, basically. So anything extra is just icing on top. Last thing, we're not going to have anything to say about this, but I'll do it anyway. Valve pushed back the Steam machines and Steam controllers to probably 2015.
It feels like 2015 should have been the date in the first place.
I agree. I feel like we haven't been hearing that much about either of those things, other than recently they kind of redesigned the prototype controller. But I feel like all of this is still in prototype phase with them getting feedback from their beta tests and all that.
I forget, with the first redesign, did they make it look less like an owl?
It still has the owl eye socket things, but now it has more like it looks more like a traditional controller with the diamond formation of the buttons and all that.
I think they should go the opposite way and just make it look exactly like an owl. So you're just holding like a ceramic owl from your neighbor's yard and you're playing games on it.
They should have to it, yeah.
Brett, that idea is for the birds.
Oh.
I think are we going to wrap this up? Any pending business we need to talk about? Hamza, anything you want me to say? E3's coming up.
Yeah, I mean, E3 is coming up. We'll have an episode next week as normal, but then the week afterwards, we'll be taking a little break because 3/4 of this team you see right here will be at E3. Jordan will be in at home.
Cheers.
Manning.
I will be at E3 as well.
No one cares, Bill. Jordan. So I mean, we'll all be really busy with E3. We'll be doing lots of
in our
coverage,
own special way.
Previews, tons of video pieces, editorials, whatever, and then we'll be back to our normal schedule the week after. We'll have another Hardline episode where we'll all be like, "Whoa! Remember this cool thing we saw at E3? Oh yeah, E3 has so many cool things."
Remember when Hamza got drunk and fell in the pool? Yeah.
That has never happened. I mean, I've gotten drunk before. I've never
You're a pool, but you didn't fall in.
Every night at the Fig, there's like one guy that jumps into the pool with all his clothes on, and then security comes around and they're like, "Animals! They're all animals!"
What a walk of shame that would be, soaking wet. Oh man,
Brett, you're going in.
Please, one of you do it. Please.
Oh, let's just push Brett in.
Yep. That's what you get for bringing Brett number 5, Brett.
I'm not going to the Fig this year at all.
Why?
That's where the cool kids go, and I'm not one of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See you later.
All right.
I'll be there.
That's fair.
So thanks so much for listening. People are like, "What is going on? What's the Fig?" Unless they're from LA.
It's a fruit in the Bible. Come on, read your Bible, kids.
Exactly. So thanks for listening. You can follow us on Twitter. I'll go ahead and do this. I'm at DtoidJordan. Hamza is at CTZ. Steven's at DtoidSteven. Brett is at Donsky3. And Bill, our producer, who you heard before, is at Bill Zoker.
No one cares.
No one cares, though, so disregard that comment. Listen to this on iTunes if you want. That'll be coming a little bit later. I think the 1st is when Bill said it would go out up on the feeds. Yep. So search for Destructoid Hardline on iTunes to find that. And yeah, check back next week for more of this stuff if you want.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.
I'm just going to edit dicks on House's face.